Hi there, I'm Sandra from Cheeky Co Nail Innovations and I'd like to show you how to do this design. I've used pigment in the background and then I've used a colour gel for the top leaves and the background leaves as well, of course. To do this, I have a tip here with white gel polish, and what I'll be doing is doing the second coat of gel polish over the top of this. A nice thin coat, and ensuring that there's an overall coverage over the whole tip, even coverage over the whole tip. Into the light for 30 seconds. I'll also be using 3 colour pigments to get the effect that I want. I have yellow and salmon, and I have this bronzy looking colour. I also have on my desk a baby wipe, a wet wipe, ready for it to capture any flyaway pigment. It's not then going to go all over my desk, it's actually going to be contained over this moisture. On top of that, I'm putting a dry lint-free wipe so I can clean my brush in between colours. The brush that I'll be using is this eyeshadow detail brush. It's actually got nice firm bristles to apply the pigment over the top. I'll give it a clean as I was just using it for the example. I'll also be using this mop brush to dust away any excess colour that I don't need on top of the tip. For the leaves, I'll be using this detail brush, and the gel that I'll be using is the Accents gel play paint, and I'll be using black, white, as well as this olive green and this other green here, and a bit of yellow. On top of that, I'll be using some Accents Matte On gel polish, gel top coat, matte on. So it's a matte finish, as well as the Luxio gloss top coat. Let's begin. I'm going to begin with the yellow and work my way to adding the other 2 colours around it. The idea of doing pigment on the white is because the pigment will the white makes the pigment stand out a lot more. The white gives it the vibrancy, allows for the pigment to show its vibrancy. The gel polish there has got an inhibition layer, so it's a sticky, and that's what I'm using for the pigment to adhere to this tip. Starting with the yellow, I've got a fair amount on my tip there, and I'm going to place it at the top here, at the bottom, and somewhere along here in the middle. Clean my brush on the dry lint-free wipe just by dabbing it on there. Now the reason I use the dry lint-free is because I don't want moisture in my bristles. I want the bristles to stay dry. For if the bristles get wet, it's going to dampen the pigment and then it's going to go clumpy and it won't give me the effect that I want. I don't want to make a paint out of the pigment pretty much, and if I wet it, it'll be like a paint. I need it to stay dry. Picking up some of the bronzy colour, and I'm going to go over the yellow and down onto the white. The idea of doing an ombre or a design with pigment background is that you don't have a defined line of the 2 colours. They have to meld together and work cohesively, let's say. So I've added more yellow, and I'll go back in and add more of the bronze over the two colours. Just up here, so I don't lose the yellow, I'll add some more of the yellow just on the top there. Now you see that I didn't add the bronze all over because I don't want it all over. I want to add some of this coral, nice coral colour. So I'm going down to here and I'm going over the yellow and working my way up, covering to the other yellow in the centre. Just working it all together, cleaning my brush, going back with the yellow and working it into the colour. Just like that, getting all the white covered. I'm almost done, but just to refine it and to ensure that I don't have any defined lines of colour of the three different colours, I'll just go back in and refine and add where I need to add to make it blend. Just like that. Adding a bit of yellow back here just to get rid of that line. There we go. Just cleaning my brush, picking up the mop brush and removing the dust. I'm going to now go ahead and top coat this with the matte on top coat. I've got a fair amount of the top coat in the brush, the bottle brush, where I can then float it over the pigment. I don't want to put pressure on this pigment because I don't want it to be moving around. If I move it, it could become muddy. The colour may not have the differences of colour there. So I've just gently floated it all around, cleaning the brush before I put it back into the bottle. And there you have it. I'm going to put this into the light for 30 seconds. I've got my palette here. I'm going to use a wet lint-free wipe with alcohol or cleanser to remove the inhibition layer that the matte top coat creates. It will go all matte. Now with my brush, so I've got these different color greens here, and what I want to do is the background leaves first. So for that green, I've just used this olive green and a little bit of yellow to lighten it. It's a background, so I don't want it too dark. I want the top leaves to be darker, as you can see in the example there. There we go. I'm going to apply a little bit of white as well, just to lighten it a bit more. That's it. It's almost like creating a grey, because that's what I want in the background. Now, to do my leaves, they're almost like a heart shape, but not quite. This might be a little bit light. We'll see how it goes against the background of the pigmented background. To begin with, we're doing one side. So let's do just up here, that's it. We're going one side, almost like an S shape. The center, and the rest of it is a little bit shorter. So one side is shorter than the other, giving you that bend in the leaf. And filling it in. Just like that. before I proceed any further, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the dark green from the original olive colour to do its stem. Cleaning my brush, picking up some more of the diluted colour, and I'll do a couple more leaves, and they're going to be, the direction will change. So this one is going from right to left. We'll do this, another one here, which will go left to right. Like that. In the center, and a little bit of a shoulder on this side. Filling it in. And adding the little stem in the center with the darker color. Cleaning my brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow, just as a highlight here and there. It may not work out, we'll see what it looks like. Let's add another one, just one more, around here somewhere, and I'll make it go the other way, so I'm going to go this way, like that. A short stem on this side, and more of a body on this side, out, like creating a part of a letter T, and filling it in. And adding that little stem yet again. Just like that. I'm going to leave this area so I can do my top leaves in that area, and that way it doesn't look too crowded. Into the light for 30 seconds. Just cleaning my brush. And I'll prepare the colour that I need for the top leaves. Now I want to go a little bit darker than this olive green that I have, so I'm going to add some of this green. And I will also add a little bit of black to it. Like so. Beautiful colour. Move that out of the way, and I'm going to top coat this before I apply the top leaves. I'm using the matte again. The fact that you top coat it gives it dimension, and the design has depth. So basically it's the depth of field. In the light for 30 seconds. Once I've done the leaves on the top, I will need to top coat just the leaves. So I've got my gloss, and I'm using a little bit of the gloss onto the palette. Clean the inhibition layer off, wait for it to dry, and do the top leaves over the top. Same principle applies where you're going to be doing them in different directions. So we'll do one here. And it doesn't matter if it overlaps the leaf below. So in this case, we're going to go this way. And I've gone a little bit bigger in purpose, so you can see that the back leaves are a little bit distant, so they're a little bit smaller. But these leaves that are on the top are going to be a little bit bigger. We're going to go out and around. And in this side, it's much smaller, like that. Filling it in. The detail brush is such a small little brush that it gives you the control that you need for the detail work. Just filling it in. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black, dip it into the green that I've created, so I want it even darker, so almost a black green. Picking up just with the tip of the brush, so I've gently rolled my brush and all the colour that's in there. Down the side with the tip of my brush I've picked up a little bit of the darker green for the stem, just like that. Cleaning my brush and doing another leaf on the side here, which can go the opposite way or we can make it go the same way. I think I'll make it go the same way, which will be in this direction. You do the center, this shoulder here and out, and this shoulder goes a wider and to the point, like that. It's not as big, the leaf, as before. They don't have to be all the same size. This is the beauty of designing something by hand. And just colouring it in inside the line that you created, while at the same time refining the look and the shape of the leaf. Going back into that darker green just with the tip of my brush, picking up a little bit of the gel and running it down the center, like that. I've got another space over here where I'll do another smaller leaf again and picking up. And we're going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to deliberately do it almost on top of that leaf in the background. We're going to go nice and short, like that, and a little bit wider on this side, like that. Filling it in. Just like that. And adding my stem in the center. Like that. Looks good. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the white and a bit of the yellow. I've got also some green left in my brush, so I've blended all that in. I don't want a strong, vibrant yellow here. I want almost like a creamy colour. The reason for this is because this is going to be my highlight. I don't like to add just straight white to a highlight. Always when you add a straight white, it tends to be the first thing you see. I want my leaves to be the first thing people see in this design, but they need a highlight. So it's a yellow with white, nicely, just like that. Where's the highlight here? If the light is coming from that direction, we'll have the highlight in the stem. From that direction, and again we'll have the highlight on this side here. Just like that. And we're going to put that into the light to cure for 30 seconds. And here we are, it's just come out of the light, all cured. I'm going to pick up some of the top coat, just cleaning my brush, pick up some of the top coat that's on my palette to basically just put it inside the leaf. One dot, and I'm gently spreading it over the inhibition layer that the gel has got. That's one of the beauties of gel. It will stick to an inhibition layer very easily as opposed to no inhibition layer. I'm doing the other two leaves as well. When you pick up a dot of the product in the tip of your brush, there seems to be enough to cover that full leaf. But if you need some more, just add to the tip of the brush, like so. Place it and then tease it around the design that you want it to be over. And I'm gently teasing it up the stem as well. I want that stem to show. I'm putting it into the light to cure for 30 seconds. Here we go. Wiping the inhibition layer from the gloss top coat with a alcohol wipe. And there you have it, a nice autumn design. Thank you.